Alright, everyone, I just want to welcome you all back to some more 13 Sentinels. We're just two characters away from finally finishing all of Reminiscence and being able to finally go through the last half of the Destruction mode. So, if anything, guys, I hope you all continue to enjoy watching. We're nearly there. Alright, everyone, we're starting off with Keitaro Miura again.
Everything looks like it's made of gold. I remember the day the Kurabe family took me in. I held Chihiro's hand, and there was a sunset just like this. Chihiro. I don't care who Chihiro says she is. She's still family.
Alright, straightforward it is. Oh,
Takatoshi-san, you actually showed up?
That Sentinel belongs to us, doesn't it? Why wouldn't I show up? So that's where it is, huh?
Yeah, the Sentinel's inside that building.
Strange, isn't it? Pretty soon, all this will turn into a battleground. We'll be fighting in a place that's supposedly in the future. This is what we've been training for.
you know, to this day, I will always love this game for it's mesmerizing, like, graphics, its art style, and the way they do backgrounds. Look at the sunlight. I love it.
Odd circumstances aside, it's an honor to fight using such incredible weapons.
Takatoshi-san, if anything happens to me, could you look after Chihiro?
Don't be stupid! Whenever you're in trouble, I'll always be there. And if it ever looks grim, I'll be the first to take a bullet for you. And don't get discouraged. No one's going to die.
All right.
Wow, this guy's a good friend, man. True blue friend right there. He didn't even hesitate to say that.
Let's go. We're taking back our Sentinel.
That's what I want to hear. Ah, there it is. Just how I remember it. Freeze! Another one?
Yo, my boy was quick to react, too.
He's still alive. I'm using low power shots, but still. Feels like we've given these guys quite the punishment.
That guy was ready to kill you with an actual gun and you put it on low power. Very merciful, man.
I want to thank you, Takatoshi-san. I couldn't have recovered the Sentinel without your help.
It's still a little too early to be thanking me.
Right. Natsuno-san's already out there fighting. I'd better join her.
Save some action for me, all right? I'll catch up to you soon.
Well, it's go time for him.
BJ. A different me from a different time. According to him, I should be able to activate the Sentinel now. It worked. All right, no time to waste. Natsuno-san, can you hear me?
Miura-kun, thank God. I thought it was all over.
Just stay put. I'll be right there.
Okay.
I have to protect my family. And everyone I hold dear. Even if it costs me my life.
This story was pretty short, but the way everything ended for him was pretty good. Like, I especially love the way he activated his Sentinel. This storyline also showcases how very brave Hijiyama is and how good of a friend he is to him too. Alright, continuing on with Renya Goto.
Complex activation confirmed. The terminal is completely sealed off.
We did it.
They've changed targets. The next terminal is just over there.
They're already on the move.
Can't even let us catch our breath, huh?
I haven't hit my operating limit yet, but I'm going to dismount.
Whoa, hey, then who's taking point?
Pull it together. We don't need orders to kick some ass. Fight.
I won't be long. It's up to you.
Fine then. Let's roll, Yuki-chan.
Chihiro-san.
This takes place after the activation?
Chihiro-san.
Look at that sunset. Just like it was back then. It's beautiful. I'm guessing you were monitoring me with a drone?
I have one locked on to you, yes. Their target's changed. They're coming back this way. It's dangerous here. We need to get you to safety.
Aw, don't tell me you're worried about me. How about you mind your own business? You already know how I feel. This is what I wanted.
Still.
You better not pull a gun on me.
More importantly, can you really afford to waste your time here? Or have you already given up? The invasion is still in its preliminary phase.
I've got time. First, I need to get you somewhere safe.
There are no safe places left. At least, none left for us. We're not safe anywhere. But you know that well enough. You're just losing precious time. Go focus on the job you're supposed to be doing.
Understood. I'll go. You'll find it safer towards the river, if, hypothetically, you wanted to know.
Wait. As long as we're both here, there's something I want to clear up. So, tell me, you were in love with Miss Morimura, weren't you? You said she was mind-hacked, but it was more about you being jealous, wasn't it?
That's hardly...
This may be our last chance to talk. Answer me.
I had a feeling. I'm not even surprised.
You are correct. Is that what you wanted to hear? That I was driven by some cheap, naive impulse? That I can't think about anything else?
And that's why you brought back my memory too, isn't it? You never cared how you managed to do it. You just wanted her back.
So much.
I'm glad. You really were a slave to your desires. That's the Renya Goto I remember. It means I don't have to like you after all. Thank you. I think that's all I wanted to hear.
Professor,
You should go. After all, we still have our bet. Although it looks like I'm about to win it.
Uh-oh. His turn.
What's wrong? Did you get separated from your mommy? Could you leave me alone? It's dangerous out here. Just come with me, okay? Will you just... What are you... Don't worry. If you can't find your mommy, I can help you look. We just have to run away right now, okay? Oh, there you are, Miwako! Asami-chan! I'm so glad you're okay! Jeez, you're so reckless. You shouldn't have come this way.
Kisaragi, that girl is...
I know already! I'll get back to the battle once Miwako's safe. Is someone else here? Of course not. Never mind. The evacuation route's that way. Can I bring her too? Hey! That's fine, just hurry up.
That was funny. Miyako ended up saving Chihiro all I was gonna say all along, but it just came out of nowhere for me. Alright, we're 42% in for this guy. And I think he's the only one left now. Oh, besides Takatoshi Hijiyama over here. Alright, so 2 more people.
Strange. I know this is my first time here, but this suddenly makes me feel so... nostalgic.
Sunsets will do that, I find. Regardless of time period.
Yes, but... this must be... well, I suppose it must be one of those places. So? Where am I going?
I've rented an apartment under a false name.
Can't be any worse than our last accommodations. As long as it's not Rebel, I'll take it.
My apologies. If it's any comfort, I'm certain nobody will find you there. Not Shikishima, and certainly not Miss Morimura. I suppose we have Ida-san to thank for all this. The funds and paperwork he prepared were invaluable.
Tetsuya Ida. And he's still missing, is he?
Yes. Let's go. Chihiro-san.
You think I'm the professor?
That is what I said. You are Professor Chihiro Morimura, a major figure in Shikishima in the year 2188, namely the leader of its space initiative.
What are you even talking about?
Just some hypotheticals, a possible interpretation of the evidence I found.
Okay, say I am the professor. Remember, Miss Morimura is the one who created me. You think that was her plan? She wanted a host for the professor and not herself? How would that make sense?
Miss Morimura ran an experiment to grant her clone compatibility. She believed that you were synchronized to her. She believed it was her own data she transmitted, but it was the other Chihiro Morimura in Sector 0. And of course, you entered the world as a newborn, incapable of verbal communication. So Miss Morimura never realized her mistake.
This is all speculation.
Certainly, yes. But if I'm right, and you are the professor, I imagine you were in quite a panic yourself. All things considered, it was a staggering deviation from the original plan.
What original plan?
Among the logs from 2188, one of Tetsuya Ida's noted that he'd found an anomaly. Chihiro Morimura was set to undergo a memory transplant in the final phase. And the final phase, well, that would be us.
I don't know where you think you're going with this.
A bit of patience, please. There's a little more context I need to provide. This refers to the humans who can control the UFO's mainframe. Those compatible have nanomachines implanted in their bodies. Ever since the battle that ended with the Sentinels infected, Miss Morimura has been pushing this operation as one of its fiercest supporters. The log from the future I saw first, that would be the comms log I found with my own ID. The first log I checked held some surprises. The author seemed to be an elderly Renya Goto. And the date of recording appeared to be 2188. I assumed it was some future version of myself. One that had time traveled into the far future. But now, I don't think that's the case. I believe it's the other way around. In other words, I myself am a clone of him. Every individual I saw in that log footage, they all created clones of themselves.
Clones? Huh?
I did find a log that proves this point.
What did you see?
A comms log between you and Professor Takamiya. Her field is genetic engineering, I note.
So all this time, everyone from the future has created a clone of themselves. And what, sent them to the past? Like, I still think, like, they talk about parallel universes, but they also believe there's some time travel involved, I think.
Professor Takamiya, how are the projections on those self-replicating probes? The simulations look good, especially the survey range. We never expected a rate of expansion that high. It was definitely the right call to prioritize its strength as a group over individual units. These probes are pretty much living machines now. They self-replicate using natural resources mined from asteroids in their routing. They'll just keep building up and breaking down. An infinite cycle of self-replication on its way to its target. There's basically zero chance of the tech failing midway through. They'll just keep on going. Probably long after humanity's gone. Glad I came to an expert then. All that's left is the refinement of the memory cube. The infrastructural storage cell, right? The cube's made up of 5 identical memory layers. In theory, it'll compare itself to nearby probes and use them as a template for repairs. And if it can't be repaired, well, fine. One probe down. We've got thousands more. And our passengers? I'll be loading them up with the DNA of all the survivors. I've already got samples and data from all 15. Now it's just down to launching them. These clones will go with all our hopes on their shoulders. By the way, what do we do about him? I mean, after that DNA test. We do nothing. He doesn't have to know. What could I even say to him? Not much, I guess.
There were 15 survivors of that colony, each with a clone established to be compatible, though they grew up in different eras, different worlds. And you aimed to replace your clone's memories with your own. That was your real plan. Right now, I imagine your biggest question is precisely how much of that log I've seen. Am I close? You do have a genius mind, but also the form of a child. I imagine it's harder than usual to hide your agitation.
It's absolutely not. Now you're just trying to trick me?
It's working.
I'd say, based on that log, Professors Takamiya and Morimura seem to know each other quite well. Maybe you know something about that.
Of course not.
Then perhaps instead, Tsukasa Okino? Being compatible, that makes one part of his identity clear. He's one of the 15 from the year 2188. So, any theories? Who was he in the year 2188? Care to guess?
Stop it.
No? Then allow me to clarify. That boy, Tsukasa Okino, is Professor Chihiro Morimura's son.
Wait, what?
But not her child by personal, conventional birth. The professor donated her egg cells as a young woman, in accordance with the policies on population control.
Holy cow, so that actually makes sense.
Their blood relation wasn't exactly obvious, until DNA testing on the clone revealed it. The professor was faced with the truth. He was her son, which naturally sparked an inconvenient surge of maternal instinct. However, Okino himself didn't think highly of the professor. He had his disagreements with the project staff, too. When it seemed like her end was near, the professor recorded him one final message, one last chance for him to know the truth.
Stop! You saw that? But how? You'd need a biometric ID match to access that log, so you should only have been able to access your own. My logs and Okino's should have been locked off.
Thank you, Professor Morimura.
Wow, so Okino is the son of Chihiro. This is so weird. I get it though.
Indeed. The files I could access were somewhat limited, mostly company logs. Meeting reports, call transcripts, bureaucratic chaff. Barely anything in the way of your personal records.
Then, how do you know what was in my logs?
It's simple, really. That should do it for preparations. Now, let's see if the biometric authentication works. Did it go through? Looks like that got me past the initial barrier at least. Now, with Miss Morimura's ID, I should be able to get into her logs. Maybe, if I check Miss Morimura's logs, I might find a clue why your biometric ID matches hers. It really is her ID.
Iori Fuyusaka?
Though unconscious, she proved very helpful. She is Chihiro Morimura, a compatible version. If you really are Miss Morimura, then you should already know who Iori Fuyusaka is, because that would mean you hid her here in Sector 4. The plan was for the two newborns to grow up with their own separate lives. Ida-san's idea, presumably. Chihiro Morimura was planned to be placed in 2104, and Tetsuya Ida in 2024, yet neither could be found.
I knew Renya Goto of Shikishima pretty well. You and he are very different. Except that you both make my life a lot harder. So, suppose I am the professor. Then what?
I want to know the truth. I want to know the reasons behind all of this. But that seems unlikely. I imagine you're not inclined to tell me anything.
And why's that?
It'd be inconvenient for you if we had all the facts, considering you're trying to eliminate us. From the very beginning, you never intended for this world to survive.
Alright, so we were hit with a lot of surprises here, and it's all thanks to our famous detective over here, Mr. Goto, whom we can now unlock further in.
Oh?
They're still locked out. Alright, so for now guys, I'm going to end it here for today. Thank you for watching. Until the next one.